everyone, I'm your host Pensyfan19 and welcome to the February 2022 Pensyfan Periodical. This is a monthly news series which covers most of the major railroading headlines from around the world, as well as my opinions on them. We have a lot of articles to go over today, so with that in mind, let's get rolling. First off, there is much debate regarding the future of the San Jose Light Rail, ranging from starting dates for their extensions to whether it's really necessary for the community. In order to get an accurate viewpoint on this topic, I brought over a special guest from the same state as this light rail. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alec the P40.
Hello everyone, Alec the P40 here as a guest appearance on this month's periodical. Now, as a Californian, I'd say that rail travel dominates the state alongside the highway system over here. From the Los Angeles Union Station to the south, Sacramento Valley Station to the north, Truckee to the east, and San Francisco to the west. One of these cities that are rich in rail travel is San Jose, with Caltrain, Amtrak, and the Altamont Corridor Express making stops there. However, they also have a shared light rail system with the rest of Santa Clara County, which is the topic of this news. As of February 25th, VTA officials have started to question the future of the line due to low ridership and increasing operating costs. This was brought up only 4 days after the FTA said that BART service to the same station would be delayed to 2034. If said light rail were to close and buses replaced it, it would take 60 years to reach even a fraction of the same profit that the VTA would make. What do you think of this situation, Pensy, and what do you think they should do to make sure the rail line doesn't cease operations? Well, thanks for having me on, Pensy. Glad to discuss something going on in my state. Well, best I get to work on Engines Metrolink and Engines of Baltimore. Ciao!
Thanks for the help, Alec. Despite its criticism, I would still support the San Jose Light Rail since, even though they currently consist of 3 lines, they have plenty of opportunity to expand to cities such as Cupertino, Los Gatos, and Alum Rock, so this way if they're able to expand, they can bring in new riders. At least other cities are seeing the benefits of streetcars, as they may return to Omaha soon, as well as their historic debut in Canton, Ohio to serve the Football Hall of Fame. How about using these nice single-car LRVs proposed by Modern Trends? Meanwhile, we have a new Heritage Railway, as the Saratoga, Corinth, and Hudson Railway will take over most of the former Saratoga and North Creek, even though this new railway will not connect with Amtrak at Saratoga Springs. Shippers are urging the STB to implement capacity improvements on the Gulf Coast line. May I suggest double-tracking this line? Or most other right-of-ways in the US? Ontario Northland has acquired ex-Norfolk Southern SD70Is. Bulgaria is to combine their nationally owned passenger and freight railroads. SNCF is to end their cross-border high-speed service with Renfe. Pepsi has released nitrogen-infused cola. And Metro-North's President Rinaldi is to replace President Eng of the Long Island Railroad. This is somewhat sad news for me since I met Mr. Eng in person on a number of occasions, and his positive impact on America's busiest commuter rail will certainly be remembered by us all. Speaking of which, here's some interesting news. TSW2 users can now share reskins in Creators Club. Lino has released a historically inaccurate Strasburg 90 as a 280. CSX and Union Pacific have been placed on the world's most admired companies list, probably because the latter railroad held a 29-car-long OCS to celebrate the Super Bowl. Tesla has acquired a 3-mile-long rail line to transport workers for a new Tesla plant. Why not make rail cars or LRVs instead of electric cars? In the meantime, California High-Speed Rail is being sued by an airport in LA. Saudi Arabia is offering a real-life experience of Squid Game. RHB has received a fire and rescue train from Mueller. An auto train caboose has been preserved. A BR Standard Class 2 MT has tested biocoal, thus being the first standard gauge engine to test this alternative fuel. And Southern West Country Class Taw Valley has been painted purple for the Queen's Jubilee. Interestingly enough, this isn't the first time this engine has been painted in a non-Southern livery, since it was also painted red to represent the Hogwarts Express back in 2000. Now here's the follow-up news section for articles covering stories from previous episodes. First off, thanks to your support, the Big Trees in Pacific has been saved from becoming a rail trail. Technically the decision is still in the air, but it's very unlikely considering the overwhelming support of keeping the rail line. Speaking of good news in California, the California High-Speed Railway is to reinstate their double-track mainline proposal for Phase 1 instead of running single-tracked. The Sierra Railroad has acquired ex-Fillmore Western equipment. Parallel System has received $4.4 million in federal funding. The MTA is to pilot automatic doors at 3 subway stations. Google is to move into Detroit Central Station along with Ford, please consider reinstating passenger service there too. UP has partnered with autonomous trucking firm Too Simple to deliver goods in Arizona. What about switching service from rail spurs? That's a more efficient form of transport. Meanwhile, DB Regio is to order Stadler floats in a more traditional DB red livery. CAF has released a hydrogen multiple unit concept, while Talgo released their hydrogen-powered locomotive. VR has received their DR19, while Skoda has revealed their EMUs for Latvian railways. Regio has begun testing their BHE 4/6, while Beacon Rail has started testing their Class 18 for GBRF, with the same railway releasing another Class 69 Heritage unit. Siemens Venture Cars have finally entered service on Amtrak, with the Lincoln service having the honors of hosting the first of these coaches, and the ALC 42 has also entered service in the same region on the Empire Builder. Although PTC and HEP problems gave the two leading engines a rough career start, I still wish Amtrak and these new engines well for decades of great service. And of course, hopefully the existing Genesises, Horizons, and Am fleets get relocated to new routes listed in the Connexus map instead of scrapping them or selling them to a commuter railroad. In terms of stations, construction has started for Bristol in the UK, designs have been released for Birmingham Interchange, while Marta has issued an RFP for Bankhead, and Amtrak is considering moving their Miami terminus to Miami International Airport. Hopefully they extend the platform so Amtrak can fit, or eliminate the 25th Street crossing. In other news, SNCF has begun testing a tri-mode multiple unit which uses battery, electric, and diesel. SNCB is to receive Alstom Trax engines. Canadian National is testing LNG on the Bessemer and Lake Erie, while they also have their Great Lakes fleet for sale. The Clackamas Valley Railroad in Oregon has released a rare GMD-1, while the last surviving SF-30C has been preserved. Cummins and Toltec is to restore K-37 number 492, while the Oigawa Railway is to restore C-56 number 135. Nickel plate, or DLMX RSD-5 number 324, will be moved to the Utah State Railroad Museum. Fossil Afro 4000s have been converted for freight service, and EXO has received their CRRC bi-level cars, and then damaged them by putting them on flatbeds and accidentally running into abandoned electric catenary poles. After all that, it is now time for this month's Meme of the Month. This month's Meme of the Month is Railfans in a Nutshell. And now, the top story of the February 2022 Pensyfan Periodical is South Shore Line to end street running. As part of their double-track program, the South Shore Line will be officially ending street running on the almost 120-year-old system. For those unfamiliar with the word, street running is when trains run on tracks that are built in the middle of the street instead of their own right-of-way, a tradition which is easier for small railcars used by interurbans, and such interurbans became famous for these operations. The South Shore Line is technically the last operating interurban railroad in the United States, a nation which used to be filled with interurbans, and the replacement of this street running tradition is a sign of the railroad adapting to the times and becoming more modern. The existing route will be replaced by a new realignment which will not include any roads, as well as an entirely new station at Michigan City, Indiana, which will be much safer than the previous station requiring passengers to cross the road to board the train. But regardless, the conversion of this line into a regular right-of-way marks the end of an era in American railroading as the last commuter railroad to end the street running tradition. Thank you everyone for watching this month's episode of the Pensyfan Periodical. There have been a lot of rail news headlines for a month, and it'll be very interesting to see what the future has in store for all of these articles. Thank you again for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Have a good day.